stock. Nine times out of 10, we come on here and I tell you some interesting fact and do some breakdown on the SCA. I don't script my videos. I want them to be freeform. I want to draw on my base of knowledge, and I want them to use my sentence structure when I'm conversing. So I don't have a teleprompter. I very rarely keep notes. I want this to be as authentic and organic as possible. One of the byproducts of that is I have this library of videos which paint this picture of someone who has their life together. And that's not by accident. I don't think I'm not here to make a sitcom. I don't find there to be anything particularly entertaining or amusing about laughing at someone else's misfortune or dire straits. But also, in painting that picture, I would now also be complicit in a very dangerous lie of omission. If you go back and look at my video library for 2023 over the summer, you will notice a substantial gap. There were about 6 weeks where I didn't produce anything. I made some vague social media posts about busy headspace, family visiting, my son's high school graduation. Those are all true. It was an insanely busy, a little bit stressful, hectic period in my life. I knew it would be. There were very few surprises in that time period. But it was kind of front-loaded with a lot of stuff. But also, if I'm being honest with you, 5.5 of those 6 weeks was me recovering from a mental health crisis. I was handed some criticism by a good friend, valid criticism, accurate criticism. It was nothing wrong with it. However, unbeknownst to them, unbeknownst to anyone other than maybe my wife, it was a specific subject which I have a bit of a blind spot on with myself, delivered in such a way and ambiguous enough that it triggered some frankly built-in panic reactions. Some have even suggested they are a trauma reaction to the way I was frankly dealt with when I was in elementary school. Some of my teachers were a little too old school, but that's another story. The bottom line is that for 4 of those 6 weeks, I never pulled out this camera because I could not convince myself that I was intellectually, emotionally, or even physically worth your time. I was that crushed by that depressive bout. And I don't get depressive bouts. That's not a occurrence or a vernacular or a subject that I am used to dealing with. I have not been hit like that hard on that type of a subject for, oh God, a decade, if not more. I wasn't that beat up when I was going through chemotherapy. I wasn't that rattled. I did not have that deep of a feeling of self-worthlessness anytime in the previous 10 years. How did I get out of it? That's its own story. And if we're going to be honest, it's none of your business. But what is your business is I feel like if I'm going to sit here and present this image of someone who has knowledge, who has something to offer the SCA, there is a level of authenticity you are owed. You witnessed the build-up and you saw the blank space during my mental health crisis. And when I came back from that, I didn't talk about it. I didn't detail it. I didn't feel like it added anything to our story. And I stand by all of those decisions. But when I pretend it didn't happen, I add to this myth that real men or tough men or successful people don't have this problem. And I don't. I do not want to further that particularly repugnant myth. Hundreds of thousands of people have given the ask for help message. And I'll add to that. If you are in a situation where your mental health, you're not sure, you are depressed, you're in a dark place, reach out, ask for help. I don't know all the circumstances, I don't know the situations, and I am, oh my God, not only am I not a licensed counselor, I am not someone who has any credentials in how to professionally or even authoritatively advise you on this. But I will add to the base chorus of reach out for help. But most importantly, I want you to understand it happens to a lot of people. It happened to me. There was no great drama. There was no great trauma. No one said anything mean-spirited or vicious. My wife didn't leave me. No one died. Both cars worked. The house is still here. There was no great trigger. And for 6 weeks, still, I felt worthless for what on paper sounds like absolutely no good reason. Now I know a lot of you are sitting here saying, oh, but there are good reasons, or oh, but it mattered to you, so it's a good reason, and that's fine, and you're right. Just make sure you're willing to say that about yourself and cut yourself that slack. And give yourself that much justification so you give yourself the allowance that yes, this crisis, this situation, this emergency, this dark spell, whatever you want to call it, is real, and maybe I should ask for help with this. I could talk for hours about this subject, but I don't want to. And I think for anyone out there who has any professional training in counseling or mental health, I think I will very quickly hit some points where you start screaming at the computer screen, because I'll be the first to admit I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But the next time you watch this video, the next time you watch any of my videos, if there's nothing else you take away from this, I want you to know that I crashed, I burned, I had one of those crises. And I don't ever want anyone to feel like I am some benchmark of I have to be as tough as him, or he could make it so I can make it. I made it because I was able to ask for help. If you are in that position, I am telling you, I am giving you permission, I am imploring you to ask for help. In every other video, I offer you the blessing of goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you at the next event. But today, I offer you prayers for a better tomorrow, and I offer you the blessings of best wishes. And if help is needed, I beg you to ask for it. God bless.